Alright, hello YouTube. Coming in with a different type of video today. It's me, HerbQuest. Today, I'm going to be smoking my last cigarette. This is the last one. This will be my last tobacco cigarette. And I figured I'd share the experience with you. Let's sit back while I smoke this. So, in this video, I figured I'd go over maybe some of the reasons why I started smoking in the first place, and maybe it will encourage some of you out there to also take the step to quit. I also want to go over some of the things that I'm going to be doing to deal with the cravings. Now, I've talked about wanting to smoke before, and I've always said when I started smoking at around the age of 12 or 13 or so, I was a young starter at it, that I would quit by the time I was around 25. Well, I am 25, almost 26 come this December. It's August now. So I think it should be all the way out of my system by the time I turn 26. Didn't quit around my birthday like I planned to. I had a relapse, we'll call it. And I think that was because I didn't make this video. So, let's go back in time to when I was 12 or 13. I was a little bit of a rebellious kid. I had some problems with authority and whatnot. I didn't really get in trouble too much. I just always sort of resented authority. Let's go back a little further. In second grade or so, I didn't think I would ever touch tobacco. It wasn't really an interest to me. I had already decided at that age that I wasn't going to fuck with it. However, something changed around the time I hit middle school because my teachers and other people in my life were advocating against tobacco to such a strong degree and with such authority that I started to smoke, I'd say, out of resentment. I'd say a secondary reason was this movie that I watched that was called Thank You for Smoking. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a decent movie, but I would also accredit that seeing of that film to me starting smoking because in that movie, the anti-smoking commission were portrayed very douchey. And I saw that same douchiness in the same people that were advocating against tobacco use. So I picked up the habit out of resentment. Then, several years ago, I discovered that I was unable to stop smoking because of the withdrawal effects, because of the cravings. And I found that the cigarettes were controlling me. They started to become an authority over me. So I still hold that same sort of resentment against unnecessary authority. However, now it is a cigarette that I resent for its authority. And that is why I have come to quit. You see, I haven't changed, but my perspective has changed. It is no longer the people advocating against cigarettes that I am resenting. Rather, it is the cigarette itself, because it becomes an authority after you let it. It has an authoritative pull with its craving. Now, as for how I'm going to go about quitting and how I'm going to deal with those cravings, is I'm going to engage in breath-based meditation every time I feel a craving. I'm going to meditate. And I learned these meditation techniques online, and I'm sure if you do some research and some digging, you'll find these techniques. The most simple technique, I would say, is to simply focus on your breath. Breathe deeply, breathe fully. And from Zen meditation, I've learned that it doesn't really matter if your eyes are open or closed. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in a cross-legged lotus stance, or if you're laying back on a couch or sitting up in a chair, or if you're sitting by a river. None of this really matters for meditation. All that matters is that one clears their mind to have, I would almost say, no thoughts, but that's not even accurate for meditation, because it's not about not thinking, it's about clear thinking, detaching yourself from the thoughts that flow past. Because thoughts in your mind are much like leaves in a river. Some of them look good, some of them don't look good. And you can watch them all flow past. And you can focus on any individual leaf or thought as it's in the river. But when you stop focusing on any one particular thought or leaf, what seems to happen is that the whole river comes into view. You experience all your thoughts at once by focusing on none of them. Now, that's just a little bit of meditation philosophy. Whether you understand that or not, it doesn't really matter. But that's the route that I'm going to be taking to deal with my cravings. Some people do toothpicks, some people do gum. I'm going to take the route of meditation because I find that that works for me. Another thing is that the craving of a cigarette, the urge to smoke it, and the denial of that urge is, I would say, a form of suffering. And one thing I learned from the Buddha, not personally, but through his teachings, is that suffering is the result of attachment. All suffering is the result of attachment. So, in order to stop one's suffering, one must detach themselves from whatever it is that they are attached to that is causing this suffering. And that is why I am choosing to stop smoking cigarettes. And this cigarette is about done. My last cigarette. I smoked that quite fast because I'm a nervous talker. It was quite an enjoyable cigarette. I've waited a little while so that I had a craving when I smoked it, so that it would be a satisfactory cigarette, a satisfying cigarette. So now I seek to find the satisfaction within, the satisfaction that I already have. And no longer shall I rely on these external, how do I want to word this? External factors of external attachments. We'll call it that. I will cease to be satisfied with external attachments. As for other things like coffee and whatnot, I still enjoy my coffee. I'm not going to quit that anytime soon because coffee is not detrimental to my being in the same way that nicotine and tobacco is. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys soon with some Iron Man content. Maybe not soon. I'll probably put out a video when I hit 99 Slayer. So, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this inspired you, and peace.